Dear students, in the last class, we derived the expression for maximum velocity of the rocket and we obtained the expression as V maximum is equal to U ln 1 plus mf by mr. This expression we derived in the last class. This is the maximum velocity attained by the rocket, where U is the constant value, the designed one, the velocity with which the gas are coming out from the nozzle in the bottom of the rocket. mf is mass of the fuel, mr mass of the empty rocket. And the expression says U maximum depends on this ratio mf by mr. For a given value of U, V maximum depends on mf by mr. So suppose U, the design value, usually it is 2 km per second, and the ratio mf by mr at the maximum it can be made 9, so that V maximum from that, if you calculate, V maximum becomes U ln 1 plus 9. This is 10 log, if you can convert, say U is 2 into 2.309, convert ln into log with base E into log 10. And when you calculate this, V maximum comes out to be at 4.6 km per second. So, in a single stage rocket, if the rocket consists of only one stage, this is the maximum possible velocity that can be given to the rocket at the required height. So, but we use the rocket to launch the space shuttle, nothing but the artificial satellites. The artificial satellites, to make them to revolve around the Earth in a required orbit, to make the artificial satellites to revolve around the Earth in the required orbit, the satellite should be given with a definite velocity called the orbital velocity. The orbital velocity value is 7.8 km per second, or almost 8 kilometers per second. Such a value is required to make the satellite to revolve around the Earth's surface, to make the satellite revolve in its own orbit. So, using single stage rocket, it is not possible to give that much velocity to the satellite. So, the rockets known as multi-stage rockets are designed. Multi-stage rockets are nothing but the rockets consisting of 2 or more stages. Rockets consisting of 2 or more stages are called multi-stage rockets. Now, how this multi-stage rocket works? It consists of 2 or more stages. So, we suppose the rocket consists many stages like this. First stage, second stage, third stage. Say, here we have 3 stages, first, second and third. How this works is, to start with, the fuel in the first stage starts burning. And one more thing we see here, the first stage, it's bigger in size, contains more fluid, and size and the amount of fuel goes on decreasing with the stage. Second stage less, third stage little less, and this happens there. This is how multi-stage rocket is constructed. To start with, in the first stage, burning of the fuel takes place. The fuel starts burning, so that as the rocket moves up, it attains more and more velocity, and when it reaches a certain height, once the fuel in the first stage gets exhausted, burning of the fuel completes there in the first stage, then that first stage gets detached from the rocket system. First stage delinks or gets detached. Now the second stage starts burning. There the rocket setup or the rocket system, it starts moving with the velocity equal to the final velocity of the first stage. Final velocity of the first stage, it becomes the initial velocity of the next stage, that's the second stage. So there again it starts moving with the higher velocity, increased velocity. Once the fuel in the second stage is exhausted, that second stage also gets detached from the rocket system, then the third stage starts burning. There, velocity of the third stage, it will be the final velocity of the second stage. In this manner, velocity of the rocket goes on increasing. The reasons are here. The 2 reasons for increased velocity. One is, as the distance increases, mass of the rocket goes on decreasing. First stage detached, second stage gets detached, so that mass of the rocket goes on decreasing, thereby increasing the velocity. We know the relation between velocity and mass. As mass decreases, velocity increases. And one more thing here we observe is every stage has got the initial velocity equal to final velocity of the previous stage. Every stage has the initial velocity equal to final velocity of the previous stage. In this manner, velocity goes on increasing in this multi-stage rocket. This is the advantage. Because of two reasons, there will be increase in velocity. One is decrease in mass. As every stage gets detached, mass decreases, thereby giving more and more velocity. One more thing is, every stage has got the initial velocity equal to final velocity of the previous stage. This is how multi-stage rockets are used to attain the required velocity to keep the satellite in its designed orbit, or to make the satellite to orbit around the Earth in the prescribed orbit. This is about multi-stage rockets. And in a rocket, two types of fuels are used, both solid fuel as well as liquid fuel. Solid fuels are like gunpowder, charcoal, ammonium nitrate, potassium nitrate, zinc, sulfur. These things are used. Solid fuel. Liquid fuel means kerosene, liquid oxygen, liquid nitrogen. These are used as the liquid fuel. So the rockets, they may use solid fuel as well as the liquid fuel. Next is about the shape of the rocket. Say, we have seen the shape of the rocket is like this. Here, the top portion is very sharp. It is constructed in this manner. A sharp portion at the top, and at the bottom there is a nozzle through which the gas are coming down. The gas are escaping in the downward direction. So here, the nozzle having very small area. As the area decreases, velocity of the gas is coming out increases, thereby giving more and more velocity to the escaping gases. Velocity of the escaping gas more means its momentum more, so that it can impart more momentum to the rocket in the forward direction. One more thing is the top side is very made sharp. This is to reduce the resistance offered by air to the motion of the rocket. Such a shape offers less resistance to the movement of this body. Such a shape, we call it as the bodies having such a shape are called streamlined bodies. Such a shape is called the streamlined body shape. Shape similar to that of the fish or the birds, all those shapes are called all those bodies are called the streamlined bodies. The resistance offered by the medium to the motion will be less for a streamlined body. This is about the shape of the rocket. Next is about the artificial satellites. We know about the natural satellites revolving around the different planets. Different planets got different number of natural satellites. Different planets got different number of natural satellites. Our Earth has got only one natural satellite, it is small. And artificial satellites are the satellites launched into space by the human beings, or these are the man-made satellites. These are prepared artificially. These are the man-made satellites, or artificial satellites. Artificial satellites are made to revolve around the Earth in circular orbits. For this, that satellite should be given with a definite velocity. Then only it is possible to revolve around the Earth in the prescribed orbit. So, here, how the satellite should be launched. To make it to revolve around Earth, how it should be launched. Say, Earth now, Earth's surface. Suppose this is the station, launching pad from which the satellite, this is the rocket. Here we have the artificial satellite. The rocket makes the satellite to move or launches the rocket at a certain height. Say. Suppose here at this end, at a given height, horizontal velocity should be given to the satellite. Suppose the velocity given is less. Velocity given to the satellite is less. In that case, it may move like this and it may fall on the surface. or is little more means again it may fall. Little more means again it may fall. If that satellite is launched with a definite horizontal velocity, then it can describe the circular path around the Earth. This is how the artificial satellites are made to revolve around the Earth by giving them a definite horizontal velocity. If it is given a definite horizontal velocity, then only it can revolve in the circular orbit around the Earth. So, here while launching the artificial satellites, the important thing is that should be launched or it should be projected with a definite horizontal velocity. That minimum velocity with which the satellite should be launched, so that it orbits around the Earth in a circular orbit. Prescribed circular orbit is called as orbital velocity. The velocity is called orbital velocity. Now let us find out the expression for orbital velocity. We denote orbital velocity by the symbol V0. Consider a satellite of mass m. Small m represents mass of the satellite. Consider a satellite of mass m orbiting around the Earth with velocity say V0. Nothing but the orbital velocity in the orbit of radius say r. Small r, the radius of the orbit of that satellite. And we know that for any body, any particle or any mass to describe the circular path, it requires centripetal force. What is centripetal force? Force acting on the particle or the body, acting along the radius, pointing towards the center of that circular path. Every body revolving and moving in a circular path requires a centripetal force. That centripetal force keeps that body in the circular path. And that centripetal force is given by the formula mv square by r. In the last class, I had given the expression m omega square r. Omega is v by r. So, centripetal force is also given by the formula mv square r. Centripetal force m omega square r. Omega, angular velocity. Angular velocity omega and linear speed v are connected as v equal to r omega. From this, omega is v by r, we substitute omega as v by r, v square by r square, 1 r gets cancelled, so that the centripetal force is also given by the formula mv square divided by r. So, any particle requires a centripetal force to move in a circular path. And the centripetal force depends on the velocity or speed of motion as well as radius of that path. Depending on that, it requires centripetal force. So here, the satellite, artificial satellite, the required centripetal force given by m v0 square by r. V0, the orbital velocity, r radius of that orbit. And to keep the particle in a circular path, it needs centripetal force, and there should be some agent to provide that centripetal force. The centripetal force should be provided by some agent. And here, in this case, in case of artificial satellite, the required centripetal force is always provided by, it is supplied by or given by the gravitational force of attraction between the satellite and the Earth. The planet is Earth. The gravitational force of attraction between the satellite, artificial satellite and the Earth, that provides the required centripetal force. And according to Newton's universal law of gravitation, see, you have studied in your PU class, according to Newton's universal law of gravitation, every object on the Earth is attracted by the Earth, the force called gravitational force of attraction. It's given by the formula G mm by r square. G, gravitational constant, 6.67 into 10 to the power minus 11 SI units. Gravitational constant. Capital M, mass of the Earth. Small m, mass of the object kept on the surface of the Earth or at certain height above the surface. Here in this case, in our case, small m, mass of the satellite, r, the distance of the satellite from the center of the Earth. Small r, distance of the satellite from the center. See, this is the Earth orbit. Let capital R be radius of the Earth. Satellite is revolving around the Earth in this orbit. The radius of the orbit of the satellite is small r. Let the satellite orbit, let it be at a height of h from the Earth's surface. H, the distance of the satellite orbit from the Earth's surface. So here, now satellite is here, small m. Capital M, mass of the Earth. Earth attracts this satellite towards its center with this force gmm by r square. And the centripetal force is provided by this. Therefore, we equate 1 and 2. 1 equal to 2 implies equate these two. A small m gets cancelled, 1 r gets cancelled. Remaining is v naught square equal to v naught square is gm by r. Or from this, we get v naught as square root of gm by r. This is the expression for orbital velocity in terms of g, m and r. G is gravitational constant, m mass of the Earth, r distance of the satellite orbit from the center of the Earth. But here we have the satellite is at a distance of h from the Earth's surface. Satellite at a distance h from the Earth's surface, so that this r, small r, can be taken as r plus h. What is capital R? Radius of the Earth. So small r is r plus h. If you substitute small r as r plus h, then we get v naught as root of gm by r plus h. This is the expression for v naught in terms of gm, r and h. When h is known, r is known, m is known, we can calculate v naught using this formula. And suppose the satellite is very close to the Earth's surface. Let the satellite be very close to the Earth's surface. It's very close to the Earth's surface means h value. H is very, very small compared to r, the radius of the Earth. So that we can approximate r plus h to r. And the satellites which are very close to the Earth's surface are called as surface satellites. And for a surface satellite, r plus h is r. And one more thing is, if this satellite is very close to Earth's surface, then the force of attraction between the Earth and that satellite, it will be equal to mg. So that our gmm by r square, in that case, gmm by r, h is small, very small, r plus h is approximate to r, so that this gmm by r square, that becomes equal to mg. What is mg? Weight of the satellite. M is the mass, m is the weight. You must be knowing the difference between weight and mass. Mass is a scalar, weight is a vector, and weight is mass into acceleration due to gravity. G is acceleration due to gravity. On an average, the value is 9.8 meter per second square. So, for surface satellites, gmm by r square equal to mg, m gets cancelled. So, you get gm by r square is g, or from this, we can write gm as gr square for surface satellites, remember. And if you substitute gm as gr square and r plus h as r, here in this equation, what do you get? Gm is gr square, r plus h is r, so that this becomes gm is gr square, gm equal to gr square, and r plus h is approximated to r, so that v naught is square root of gr square divided by r. 1 r gets cancelled. From this we get v naught as square root of gr, and this is the expression for orbital velocity of a satellite. The minimum velocity required is equal to v naught equal to root of gr, and as h increases, this formula becomes v naught equal to square root of g into r plus h with increasing h. Alright, the minimum value is v naught equal to square root of gr. This is the expression for orbital velocity of a satellite, of an artificial satellite. Next is to derive the expression for period of revolution. See, the satellite is revolving around the Earth in the orbit, in the prescribed orbit, with the definite orbital velocity v naught. And when the satellite completes one revolution, one rotation around the Earth, the time taken by that satellite is called its period. What's period of rotation or period of revolution? Time taken by the satellite to complete one rotation around the earth. It's called period of rotation or period of revolution. So here we denote the period by the symbol capital T. And how do you define the period T as? Period nothing but distance traveled in by velocity. Velocity is distance by time, so time is distance by velocity. So period T is distance by velocity. So in this case, the distance, let capital T be the time taken by the satellite to complete one rotation. So what is the total distance travelled in that time? Nothing but circumference of that orbit or that circular path. Circumference of the circular path travelled by that satellite. That is the distance. With what velocity it travels? With the velocity equal to orbital velocity. So that the period is given by 2 pi r by v naught. Period is circumference divided by the orbital velocity. The circumference is 2 pi r, you know it very well, divided by v naught. That is 2 pi into what is our r plus h. V naught is, already we have the expression root gm by r plus h. So we substitute. We get t as 2 pi r plus h by root of gm by r plus h. And this can also be written as 2 pi r plus h into, take this to the numerator, becomes root of r plus h by gm. Or it is 2 pi, take this r plus h inside the root sign. Take this one inside the root sign, becomes r plus h square, and one more r plus h becomes r plus h cube. So that t is 2 pi root r plus h cube by gm. This is one expression for t in terms of r, h, gm. That is t. We can calculate t using this formula also. Or further simplified, h is small. You already consider the surface satellite, h is small. So that r plus h becomes r itself. Then t expression is 2 pi root r cube by gm. What is gm? Gr square. I have shown that gm is gr square. And if we substitute, t becomes 2 pi root r cube by gr square, or from this we get t as 2 pi root r by g. And this is the expression for period of revolution of the satellite around the earth. T can be calculated either using this, or using this, or using this. And this is about the period of revolution. And here we discussed about the orbital velocity. And there is one more type of velocity called escape velocity. You have studied in your PU class, escape velocity of the satellite. Suppose the satellite, the artificial satellite, suppose it is launched with a velocity in such a way that it may escape from the Earth's gravitational field or Earth's gravitational pull. The velocity is such that the given satellite escapes from the Earth's gravitational pull. It goes beyond the Earth's gravitational attraction. In that case, the velocity, we call it as the escape velocity. It escapes from the Earth's surface. There is no contact or there is no connection. There is no connection between the satellite and the Earth. It escapes from the Earth's gravitational field or pull. That velocity is called the escape velocity. We denote it as VE. If the satellite is launched with that escape velocity, then once it escapes, then the gravitational energy completely converts into the kinetic energy, so that there we can equate Gmm divided by R is equal to half mve square. This is the kinetic energy. This is the gravitational potential energy. M gets cancelled, and from this we can write VE square as 2 Gm divided by R, or VE is equal to square root of 2 Gm divided by R, and small r is R plus H, so VE is equal to root of 2 and R is R plus H, Gm is Gr square, so VE becomes 2 Gr square divided by R plus H. When H is very small, R plus H becomes R, so that 1 R gets cancelled, we get VE as the minimum value of the velocity VE as root 2 Gr square root of 2 Gr, or it is root 2 into root Gr. It's nothing but root 2 into what is root Gr? It is VO, that is orbital velocity. So that The escape velocity is given by the formula square root of 2gr or root 2 into the orbit velocity we know. This is the expression for escape velocity of the satellite. If the satellite is launched with this velocity, then it escapes from the Earth's gravitational field. That is the escape velocity. The Earth's escape velocity is 7.8 kilometers per second or 8 kilometers. Around 8 kilometers per second. And this is about the launching of artificial satellites. With this, I stop here. A little bit is remaining in this part. Let us continue that one in the next class.